Hi there, it's great to see you and it's great to meet you. I am Dr. Albert Chung, your friendly proctologist, and I'm so glad you're here. Why? Because the whole purpose of my channel is to get you information that will get you on your recovery as soon as possible. I mean, isn't that what everybody wants? The internet is such a brilliant place, isn't that? We can share peer to peer and get ideas, get motivated, and bond together, which is what this whole community is about. So if you could like and subscribe, I'd like to try and find as many of us as possible, bind together and bring awareness to this dark, dingy place of our body, the bottom end. So today I'd like to chat about insurance, okay? And just some things that you may not be aware of, but I want to give you some of those hints that you should be aware of, or things that you should be entitled to, okay? So let's get the video started. So insurance is never anyone's favorite thing to talk about, for good reason, right? It's big, it's complicated, painful to deal with. But I think the best defense against that is knowledge. Know what you're entitled to. What are the tips to get you through the system and get the care that you need? That's what's going to be the best thing for you. So let's say you're going to find a doctor to see a specialist for your hemorrhoid issue. What I suggest you do is first find the approved list of providers. Whether you got to get it from your insurance company, you get it online. Get that list and start researching all those doctors. Know who you want to see. Don't just let them assign somebody to you, okay? Have a few people on your list because maybe you might want to see another person for a second opinion. Start calling these offices. See how responsive they are. That'll give you a good clue. I mean, if you get a procedure and you need help and you gotta call somebody and they don't return your calls, they're not responsive to you, give you a lot of garbage over the phone, you don't want to work with that office. Definitely. Even if the doctor's good, if the front office staff is terrible, that can really kill your experience. So look into that as well. What about at the consultation, right? You're one-on-one with the doctor and you want to make sure you get all your questions answered. Make sure you get that chance to soak in what your diagnosis is and what the treatments are, and get that help to choose what option be best for you. But many times and oftentimes, right, I'm sure many of you have dealt with that you only get 5 minutes with the doctor. They quickly stick their finger in your bottom end, you get assaulted, and you're like, thank you very much? I mean, I gotta pay for you to do that? It's so wrong. But here's some things for you. Number one, make sure that doctor, he or she, spends the time with you. How do you do that? Well, if the doctor's in such a hurry to get out the door, say, excuse me, do you mind if we have a few minutes to talk here? I mean, I just want to process what you just told me and ask you a few questions. That will put that doctor's feet with the brakes on in a hurry, okay? Number one, you're catching them off guard, because do patients do that? No, they're so stunned about and shocked and scared about talking about the bottom end that questions just don't come out right away. You know, it always comes out after you leave. But make sure that you don't just get kicked out of there just because the doctor said, okay, yeah, done, steroids, bye-bye. Make sure you say, I've only been here for 10 minutes. You know, this is the first consultation, the first time you're meeting me. I really like to make sure that you understand my situation. I want to be able to explain and take the time. Can we do that today? You know, and if the doctor says, well, no, that's my solution. That's it. Well, you say, well, do you mind if you don't have the time today, if I can schedule another consultation to continue this one, okay? Because the thing is that if you get another appointment date, that's another charge to your insurance. So make sure that you feel satisfied, okay? You know, a lot of companies, a lot of other businesses outside of healthcare, you know, they make sure they spend the time with you. And for some reason in healthcare, you can get your time cut off. I mean, what the heck is that? It doesn't make any sense. So make sure you defend yourself. You make sure you're heard and you feel like you got the quality time with the doctor. The next thing we need to talk about is procedures. Obviously, when you have a procedure done, like removing a hemorrhoid or opening up a thrombosed hemorrhoid or opening up an infection, those things can be done in the office setting many of the times, a majority of the times. And of course, you're going to get a bill for that procedure. But what you may not know is that 14 days typically after that procedure, there's what's called a global period. And that global means that the insurance company will give the doctor a check, say thank you very much for providing the service for the patient. But this money will include the payment for the procedure as well as 14 days afterwards. So if you needed to see the doctor within 14 days of the procedure, you should not be charged for it. You should be able to get that care for free. Why? Because your insurance company has paid that amount. So ask them, you can ask them, like, is there a global period with this procedure? You can ask the insurance company to be more specific. If there's any issue or if there's a follow-up visit to check on the wound, you're having issues, it should not cost you anything. If we're talking about a surgery, like you're going to go to sleep, those kind of procedures have a 90-day global, 3 months. The insurance company will pay the doctor and say, hey, thank you very much for doing that surgery for our patient. And they'll say, but this money includes 90 days of care. You are not allowed to bill us for issues regarding that surgery that you just did. So 90 days, 3 months after that surgery, you have every right to go to that doctor's office, make an appointment, be seen by that doctor, and not have any problems, qualms about it. The doctor should not be charging you for anything regarding that surgery, and that care should all be free, or free, I call it, included with that copay you gave and all these things, okay? Make sure that you don't get just pushed aside. Go into that doctor's office and demand to be seen, okay? Demand an appointment. I hear so many stories about doctors or whoever's answering the phone say, doctor's too busy, they can't see you. No, that's not acceptable. Do not ever accept that as an excuse. If you feel the need to be seen, definitely go in there to be seen. Another tip, which I've said before, is always get a second opinion, especially if a doctor is suggesting a surgery, okay? Just get another person's eyeballs on your situations and hear them out and see who you want to deal with, which treatment makes sense to you, so you can get a better idea, is this the right treatment option for me? Many times we're just so emotionally involved in a situation, we're in pain, we want to get this situation solved, and if a surgeon sells a procedure and says, hey, I can get rid of it for you, make sure that you don't jump into those things that fast. I always recommend you just get another person's opinion. So the last part is that billing aspect of things, okay? When you get surgery or you stay in a hospital, all of a sudden these statements, these paper bills come from like left and right. They even come from Russia. Who knows? People you've never even shook their hands are sending you paperwork asking for money. I tell you, don't start paying people. Just look at it and say, okay, looks like they're asking for $700. Okay, the lab company said they want that. Sure, buddy. Just stash it away in a folder and put it aside. Why? Because all this paperwork can take months, okay? And sure, some of these places say, hey, after a month, you are delinquent in your fees. Like, hey, buddy, the insurance process is still going on. I'm not just going to pay just because you said so. You're supposed to go through my insurance provider. I gave you my insurance card. So wait, buddy, hold on. Don't let them push you around, is kind of what I'm saying. The document you're really waiting for from your insurance company is called the Explanation of Benefits, or EOB. The insurance company gets all the claims and then gives this paperwork and says, hey, these people sent in a claim saying they provided care on your behalf, and this is the charges that they sent. This is what the insurance company is going to pay, and at the bottom it's going to say what you owe. Okay, and that's how you find out how good your insurance is, right? But you're going to see a bunch of listed people here, and you're going to compare that with a statement that you got from a lab. So let's take a lab company. They said they sent you a statement a month ago saying you owe $700. But then you look at the EOB, explanation of benefits, said, hey, they charged $1,000, but you only owe $50. So then you can go back to that lab company and say, hey, give them the nice middle finger and say, I only owe you 50, buddy. So you pay the $50 and then done deal. Okay? If they got a problem with that, then they can talk to your insurance company is how I would do it. Okay? But the EOB can take some time to come out. If you got to call your insurance company, make sure you get it from them. They are the official last word, because, hey, that's what you paid the money, the big bucks for the insurance company for, okay? So all in all, I want you to be prepared. I want you to be aware. I want the healthcare experience to be less stressful for you. And I hope that this gave you some light to this mysterious process. Again, I hope that you are doing the best you can, and I hope your recovery continues. You take care. Bye-bye.